How's it going, YouTube? Coming today with another video, and today, guys, what to bring to you is the Agent deck. Now, we've been getting a lot of support cards announced for this deck, and they're finally coming out in Ghost in the past 2. I'm very excited for this because this deck used to be the deck. It used to be very strong to use, and I just remember when it was out with the structure deck, everyone was just like, wow, this is it, like, this is so good. But we haven't really gotten that feeling about Agents in such a long time due to no support cards, and there hasn't really been a time for it to be good in the meta. But now we have so many good broken extenders and good cards for the deck that I'm very pleased to be the one to bring you all this information of what the cards do, how the combos go. Are there any one card combos, couple card combos? We have a few of those for you to show. We're going to be going over individually what the cards do and how the new support really does affect how the deck functions and what the main objectives of the deck are. And then I'm going to be showing you 2 different lists at the end of this video. So I do hope that you enjoy this because this is a deck that I really do like. It's something that I played against a lot in the past, but again, we haven't seen it in a long time. So this is also just going to be like a really nice budget option because the cards are all very inexpensive, especially coming out in Ghost in the Past 2 with all the new extenders, that I think this is going to be a really solid pickup. It's kind of going to be like D in a way, right? Like how DDD wasn't really that good, and then it got a couple new support cards, and it was pretty solid, and seeing some tournament play. I think we see the same thing with Agents, honestly, and this is something that a lot of people just aren't really ready for yet because they kind of forgot what the cards do. So I hope that today is just a good refresher, if anything. So if you haven't already gotten a mat over on Imperium Duelist, definitely go over and check that out. Use code GGYGO10 for a discount, and let's hop right into the Agents. So my favorite thing about this deck, honestly, is the fact that Venus was just such a good card, right? Like, it's just one of those things that just summoned way too many things. So you can pay 500 life points at a time, especially summon mystical shine balls from your deck or your hand. So what's cool about this card, though, is the fact that it can summon so many, but what's bad about this deck is the fact that you have to run 3 mystical shine balls, which are all very bad bricks, right? So that's always going to be the inherent problem of the deck, unfortunately, but we do have a couple ways here of mitigating that, which I'm a big fan of, so let's go over those as well. So the first thing is Master Flare Hyperion. Now you can run less Venus. You can only run like 1. If you want to play 2, you can. But your objective is to essentially make a level 10 synchro now in the deck so that you can make the Hyperion. And then Hyperion can then go ahead and Foolish Venus. And then you can copy the effect to go ahead and start summoning out tokens. But not only is it Venus at that point, it can also quick effect banish a fairy monster from your hand or grave, target a card in the field, and then banish it. So it's essentially another Mirror Jade, which is really cool. I'm a big fan of this, and it's something that the deck really did need. And so being able to go into a level 10 synchro and not have to play so many normal summons in the deck, it just feels a lot better than what we're used to. So the next thing, though, is that we actually got the Agent of Destruction Venus, which is really cool because now you can recycle all the shine balls. That's another thing, too. We have Small World now. So, like, if you ever open up a shine ball and you're okay with only having the ability to summon 2 from the deck for, the game, right? Then you can go ahead and cycle it out for, like, something different. And so I really think that's cool, too, because it just makes our Garnets feel a lot less bad. But the Destruction Venus is really nice because it allows you, when it's on the board, to go ahead and pay a maximum of 1,500 life points, minimum 500, to special summon that many shine balls from the banish zone or the graveyard at one time. So you can use all your shine balls, put them in the grave, and then summon all 3 back out with destruction, which is pretty crazy, honestly. I really like that a lot. This is another really good way to extend, and then it's also a tuner, which is pretty powerful, I think. Because again, you can go ahead and summon out level 2 shine balls, and then you can go anywhere from a 5 to a 7 to a 9. Which honestly is really nice, and we'll see a lot of really cool ways to be able to abuse that in the game too, I'm sure. But moving forward off of that, these are the cards that essentially allow you to go full combo in the deck. So if you ever have the Diviner of the Herald by itself, that is full combo, and I'll show you right after this what full combo is. And then the Earth is just a really nice way to go ahead and make the Halqifibrax. So if you open up any single way to make Halqifibrax and Triaz, you also have full combo. So let's hop over and just kind of show you what full combo means in this deck. All right, so you have Diviner. So essentially what Diviner does is goes ahead and dumps the Triaz. The Triaz will allow you to tribute a monster on your field and special summon it. So what's cool is that when Diviner is tributed, you can special summon a level 2 or lower fairy from your hand or deck. So now we're going to go ahead and use that effect and then summon the Booten. Booten, you can banish it from your graveyard and target a level 4 or lower light fairy type monster and make it a tuner. So that's really cool too because this is a level 1 tuner, so we can make our Hyperion to copy the Venus. Go ahead and summon out a couple shine balls here. Go ahead and let that combo through. Go Link Spider and then go to your Dag to play. go ahead and make another of the Shine Ball to trigger off the Dagda, which is cool here because now you can use Booten to make that a tuner, go into Hulk. Hulk can then go ahead and summon out the Earth. So this is something that you can do, like leave your board right here, and then you can just say when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can banish a fairy monster from your hand or grave and target a card in the field, banish it. But the way that I think that the combo works a lot better is that you go and you make the IP, because this is another card again that just dodges the Veilers, the Imperms, right? I know that it's on his terms, so Veiler doesn't really matter. But so Imperm alone, though, is just a really good thing to be able to dodge, even like Widow Anchors. That's why I just really enjoy this card, though. Because essentially what you're doing here is you're going to go Hulk, and then you're going to try to use your Wonder Magician to target a card on the field, so your Scythe. So again, if you do get stopped here, you can go ahead and then link these off and go ahead and dodge things like Imperm. And then you can go ahead and pop your Scythe. When Scythe comes back, you're going to make the Baron. And then you are essentially just Scythe locking them there, and then you have your IP and Baron. And that was all just one card as well. So if you have other hand traps and whatnot, it's going to be a very good day to play the Agent deck, right? But let's see what happens when you need 2 cards instead. So this is the combo. Essentially, you need any single way to go to a Hulk combo, and then you need your Trias. You don't need a discard, but I'll show you what the discard is for if you want to go this far in your combo. So essentially right now we're going to go into Earth. Earth is going to add Neptune. Neptune's really nice because you can discard this card and then special summon an agent monster from your hand or graveyard. And so that way you can make Hulk very easily. Go into Almirage, special back the Earth, go into Hulk. Then essentially you're doing the same combo here. You're going into your Master Flare. And then the Flare is going to summon out the tokens here and go into the Dagda after the Link Spider. Let that play through for a moment. Set your Scythe. And then now we're going to do something a little different. So we have 2 fairies on the field. We're going to go into our Moon. Moon allows you to then go ahead and send a Sanctuary in the Sky or one card that specifically lists that from your deck to the graveyard. Or if Sank in the Sky is already on the field, you can add a Mystery Earth instead. So what's cool about this, though, is you can send Majesty Hyperion. So we're always used to Master Hyperion, but now we have Majesty. So what's cool about this card, though, is that you can banish a agent from your grave and special summon it. You also, once per turn, can banish 1 fairy monster from your hand or grave and then target 1 card in either grave and banish it. If Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in the graveyard, you can use this effect twice. So all these cards just have really good secondary effects. Even the Moon, you can go ahead and tribute a fairy to target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. So they all just have very good secondary effects alongside the Neptune, because once you banish the Neptune and summon out the Majesty, you can add Sanctuary in the Sky. So there you go. You're already going to be able to solve one of the deck's biggest problems in the past, was a way to get to Sanctuary in the Sky, which just seems very optimal to get now. So this is where you could leave your combo. You could go into a Link if you wanted. You could do a 3-mat Appaloosa here if you wanted as well. There's a lot of different things that you could do. The thing that I recommend, though, is if you do have the extra discard, because again, this is all of 2 cards. If you have the extra discard, though, you can make the Celestial Pear-Shaped, and then you can go ahead and add Krishna, which makes your end board even crazier, because when you go to do the Hulk play to summon out the Baron, right? You go TG pop, and then summon back Scythe, and then these 2 in a Baron. When the Scythe leaves the board, because it's a fairy, the Celestial triggers to summon out the Krishna from your hand. So, pretty insane. They're under Scythe lock, you have a banish, they can't special summon, you have a negate. Like, it's so very good. It's honestly just so crazy. So, big fan of this. Just another one of those full combo boards if you wanted to see something like this. So let's hop right back into the cards and talk more about what they do. So as we saw in the video, the Neptune is such an insane extender, being able to special a monster from your hand or your graveyard that's an agent. So again, being able to bring out your agent of destruction, even if you need to, if you already got to your Venus, is just really, really strong at that point, because you can go ahead and summon out the destruction, then go ahead and summon out your shine balls. Really, really nice to see here. But moving forward off of the Neptune, though, we do have our Moon and we have our Majesty. Usually when you have the Moon, you're always just trying to go to your Majesty. It's just another really cool way to get to an extender. Again, just being the level that it is as well, being on that level 8, there's a lot of room if you do play like the Master as well to go for potential like rank 8 plays and whatnot. So a lot of really cool cards in the deck and a lot of really nice utility here. Moving off that, we do have the Celestial Night Lord Pear-Shaped. Another card too that you don't necessarily need to run. I feel like it is very important though, because again, you get to that Sanctuary in the Sky if you need it, or you can get to one card that specifically lists it, which again is very important. Then you're also going to be able, if you already control Sanctuary in the Sky, to add any fairy monster. So it's just a very, very good rota here, and very easy to summon, especially because you have so many shine balls that you're always just like trying to get rid of. And it doesn't specify that you need different names or anything, or if they have to be effect monsters. It just says fairies. So that's one of my favorite cards in the deck right now. Something to definitely play, at least at one of. So this is the build that has more engine in it. You can play more hand traps. I put this together with a lot of I want to say thought with not having too many garnets, because the deck itself can play quite the many garnets, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, you can kind of cut those out of the build and play more central on like what the engine's really trying to do. You could play things like DP and whatnot, but I was trying to focus harder on just doing like an agent build, right? With the card pool that we currently have, there's a lot of normal summons that you can play in the deck, and a lot that you typically want to play in the deck. So you play like the 3 Earth, the 3 of the Venus, and then you play 3 Diviner. Because if you see any of them, you're going full combo, so it doesn't really matter which one you see. So having 9 ways to them is still very strong. Other than that, though, we do play Ash, Ogre, Bell, Veiler, and Imperm. We also play Droplet. You can play things like Crossout, as you'll see in the next build that we have. That I prefer that, but I think this is just a really clean way. You shouldn't be playing 40 cards because you really don't want to see the shine balls, right? But this is just a really nice way to be able to play a little over 40 and still be able to have as many consistent hands as possible. So the next thing here, though, is that I have a 60 card list that I cut down to 50 because I was trying to stray away from playing like more again of those DPE, those adventure package, and focus more on the agent cards. With this build, you do play like the Chris Show, which is what I was doing, and I also play like the Crossout and the Small Worlds. I just feel like they're really nice to have in the deck because there's so many different bridges that you can go across here, especially because like some of the main deck monsters are light, some of them are dark, so they're really good bridges to have. So it's just another one of those things too where you just kind of want to open full combo as much as possible, but like we see in the 60 card list now, you're just trying to be able to open up full combo, and you're trying to open up a way to stop your opponent too. So I think this is one of the best ways to be able to accomplish that. A lot of people are going to be asking me, hey, you know, like, is 3 Triads really that important? But it really is, because any single time, even if your Diviner gets like impermed right and you open up Triads, then at that point you're like, cool, you wasted a hand trap, Triads tribute that, and then you can go full combo anyway. Which I'm a huge fan of, right? Being able to play through hand traps is usually the best thing that you can try to do with the deck, right? So I do hope that you enjoyed this video today. There's so many different things about agents that I really enjoy, and I'm very happy to see them coming back into the game. Hopefully we see them step up to the metagame, but they might just hang out in Rogue for a little while. But I do think that they have the best potential to be moved up to the metagame again. If you're not already following me on Twitter, Twitch, and not in my Discord, go ahead and join them from the links in the description below. If you want a coaching session over at Metafy, definitely consider that, and DM me too if you have any questions about that as well. I hope that everyone has a wonderful night, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you.